So, the topic that I have to discuss with you guys this week is about boundaries. Now, it might sound so easy. I'll put the definition up here. But in reality, boundaries are some of the hardest things that people say that they can or can't follow. Um, we all know what a boundary is. The first thing that we were ever taught is that this is the line, don't cross it. They work in physical ways, but they also work in emotional and mental ways as well. You can put boundaries up around your heart, your mind, your soul, whatever you please, to make sure that you don't get hurt. So you don't get any of the backlash that comes with doing whatever you're about to do. Well, let me not say it that way. You will still get hurt sometimes because people don't respect boundaries. And when I say people, I'm generalizing it just so you understand. In the grand scheme of things, when you set a boundary, that is you basically making a battle cry saying, I declare that this is this and that is that, and I will tolerate this, but I won't tolerate that. So, in essence, anybody who wants to cross that boundary already has negative intentions from the jump. So, they're easy for you to spot out. One of the biggest lies people are taught is that the sensuality means unlimited access. And honestly, that mindset destroys people emotionally, sexually, mentally, and spiritually. Real sensuality without boundaries becomes self abandonment. And a lot of people don't realize that they cross that line until they feel very, very empty within themselves. Now, as we know, sensuality is not just about sex, it's about how you experience pleasure, emotion, touch, beauty, attention, intimacy, presence, even the way you move throughout your own body. Some people confuse sensuality with performance, some confuse it with validation, some confuse it with accessibility. But true sensuality requires awareness because the moment that you stop being aware of yourself, your comfort, your emotions, your limits, it stops being empowering. So, importance. Why do they matter? Boundaries protect your nervous system. Yes. And people don't talk enough about how intimacy affects the nervous system altogether. You can't be in tune when you're not in tune with yourself. It just, the whole situation, you'll feel like a third party experience to your own life. That is not how we want everything to happen. Every interaction leaves an impression, every conversation, every touch, every emotional exchange. So without boundaries, people start overextending. They overextend themselves trying to be desired, accepted, wanted, chosen, or even needed sometimes. And eventually they'll wake up to feeling disconnected from their entire selves. Boundaries are not rejection, boundaries are self definition. The reason that they're important is that they teach people how to interact with you. It's like training a dog. They establish respect, expectations, emotional safety, communication, and accountability. Basically, a boundary says, I know where I end and where another person begins. And honestly, people who become angry at healthy boundaries are usually benefiting from your lack of them. Don't let that go over your head. So, there are different types of boundaries. The first I want to talk about are emotional boundaries. Not everyone gets emotional access to you just because they are attracted to you. Just because the attraction exists doesn't mean that they get all of you at that moment at any time. So this means limiting emotional labor in conversations, not trauma dumping immediately anyway, separating fantasy from reality, and not forcing intimacy. You do not want to force intimacy. That don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. So the next is physical boundaries. Your body is not community property. You are not a water fountain. You do not pour into everybody else. Nobody pours into you, and everybody gets access to you anytime they want or they need to. You're not a water fountain. Some examples of boundaries, physical boundaries, is what touch is okay, pacing, consent, safe words, comfort levels, physical aftercare. If a person really cares about your boundaries, they after will have a conversation with you to see how that experience actually felt for you and not just them. Just saying. Digital boundaries, though, since we're all online these days and everybody thinks that since you have a phone, your phone is in your hand 24/7, and that means that they can communicate with you whenever they want. No. We live online, this matters. But some boundaries that you can enact in a digital space: response expectations, privacy, what you share online, parasocial attachment, not letting people think that they're too close to you, especially if they're total strangers, screen recording, entitlement to attention. All of these things you want to keep boundaries around. You do not want people to believe that they have total access to you 24/7, because they do not. Nobody should have total access to you 24/7 unless it's your child or maybe your spouse, if that's what you like. So then we have energetic and mental boundaries. Some people have or leave interactions mentally exhausted because they absorb everybody's emotions, feelings, all of that. So you should be enacting some boundaries around that. That would include protecting your peace, not entertaining manipulation, stepping away from draining dynamics, knowing when attraction becomes unhealthy. You could full on lust somebody, or somebody could lust you so much to the fact that they are disrespecting you and your boundaries every time they have a conversation with you, and that's not something that you want. Not at all. So those were the type of boundaries you can have. Let's talk a little bit about sensuality and self-abandonment. Because I said earlier, if you're not in tune with your emotions, you're not sensual with yourself, then you're basically giving yourself away to somebody else to be a robot and act for them, perform for them, and do all the emotional labor, mental labor for them, and that's not what you want to do. So, being sensual does not mean that you owe constant softness, okay? Be a bitch sometimes. I'm playing. And being desired does not mean people are entitled to your body, your attention, your time, or your emotional availability. So a lot of people perform intimacy because they're afraid boundaries would make them unlovable, and that is just not true. If a person really likes you, or they say they like you, maybe sometimes they say they love you, the first thing that they don't want to do is disrespect you. So just keep that in mind. All in all, sensuality becomes powerful when it comes from self-awareness instead of self-sacrifice. Boundaries don't make you cold, they make you conscious. And honestly, the right people won't fear you for your boundaries. They'll feel safer because of them. I know, right? Oof, one thing that I personally had to learn about boundaries was that I'm not the bad guy. And we have so many interactions with so many people every day. Sometimes you lose your sense of self because every interaction has a different level of boundary splitting. And sometimes you get drained just from the thought of having a conversation with somebody because you know what they want. I had to learn it's okay to not do the emotional labor. It's okay. And if people really want to talk to you, then they know that already. So, yeah. But I have a question for you. What boundary changed your life the most? An emotional one, a physical one, a mental one, or a digital one? It doesn't matter. I really would like to know which boundary gave you the idea that I am a person and you will not treat me like this. Thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you came to another video. If you're not subscribed already, welcome to the family. I do not have a schedule when I drop, but turn on notifications on so you know when I drop. Comment, like, share, subscribe, dislike if you really feel that way in your heart. And I will see you later.